Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much to the spokesperson office and to the UN Press Corps in New York for welcoming us here in your press briefing room at UN headquarters. We're pleased today to have with us Ambassador Omar Zniber, who's the permanent representative of Morocco to the United Nations in Geneva. Ambassador Zniber will speak to you today in his capacity as President of the UN Human Rights Council for the year of 2024. A role he was elected for last January by members of the UN Human Rights Council. So Ambassador Zniber conducted a mission this week in New York to UN headquarters, during which he met with several UN officials, representatives of member states and civil society. And he will tell you more about the achievements as well as the challenges that the Council faces, the priorities of his presidency, and how the work of the Council can be enhanced and the collaboration with UN bodies here based in New York. So Ambassador Zniber will deliver brief opening remarks and will then take your questions. Monsieur l'Ambassadeur.
Thank you very much, dear Mr. Pascal. I'm very happy to be with the representative of the press accredited to the United Nations here this morning in my capacity as current President of the Human Rights Council. I am here in New York, as you may know, of course, to present the report, which has been done just a few minutes ago before the General Assembly, but also to develop many other contacts with the leadership of the organization itself, the Secretary General, some of his assistants, and also the leaders of the commissions involved in the work of the Council. So I will just highlight some important points to you. The report is there, you can check it. And what I would like to say is the following. First of all, since the beginning of this year, we have been confronted with a difficult international environment, illustrated by various important crises, even wars in various regions in the world. So the fear, the concern was the impact of such crises on the effectiveness and on the action and the result of the Council. So the presidency was from the beginning giving and paying high attention to develop also dialogues to maintain the role of the Council, its credibility in front of such situation, which has been in a way or another reached, which means that the Council worked. It adopted, as you may know, almost over 90 resolutions and many other decisions. It has developed its normal dialogues, interactive dialogues and panels, and even we have introduced this year new thematics in our work. So this was very important to underline for you, so that the Council is in action, and it is delivering. And even if we check the number of the decisions which have been adopted, 3/4 of them were then adopted by consensus. And they are originating from cross-regional groups. I want to underline this because it means that all of us were attached to this important organ and its mandate. This is the first point I wanted to highlight. Secondly, what was important also during this year is to try to be in line with the realities of the world as it is. And this is why the presidency took some initiatives to introduce some debates according to the priorities I have announced for the presidency from the beginning of this year. We focused, for example, on the question of the climate change, its impact on health security, also food security. I have organized presidential discussions of high level, attended by various leaders of international organizations having knowledge and competence on these issues. And the outcome was some summaries. We did the same for the impact of artificial intelligence and new technologies on the enjoyment of human rights. We did that, and I will develop later on just, in few words, with New York, because in New York there was here this preparation of the Summit of the Future, the adoption of the Global Digital Compact. So we have considered that Geneva should contribute to that through the President of the Human Rights Council, which we did. We have sent important documents, summaries, I would say, report of these presidential discussions which took place with all the members of the Council there. And for me, it is important to underline that because the coordination between Geneva and New York is of essence, and we have to care about that to develop it more. That was the issues I discussed here this week with the various interlocutors I already presented. The same efforts have been exerted to make the Council oriented at the best towards the question of gender equality. It's a major issue. During my visits here in New York, I met with UN Women. We observed that there are a lot of pushbacks on that, and it is a fundamental issue for the Human Rights Council to deal with this matter. We have established a consultative board under the responsibility of the president, which composition is very interesting. If you would like to, pay attention to that, we have, of course, the membership, the civil society, but also various leaders of the ecosystem in Geneva, so that we can work in a comprehensive approach, but also in synergies between all the international and agencies involved in Geneva and that. The third point I wanted to present to you this morning, you know about, of course, here in New York, is that we are also crossing difficulties in terms of, our capacity of management and confronting particularly the lack of financement. If you check the activities of the Council, there is an increase due to the various initiatives of the delegations. The creations of mandates, the creation of activities of the Council are increasing, while the possibilities offered to us in terms of financing are decreasing. Then it is a major issue. We have discussed this here in New York, as I said, with those in charge of the management, the financement, and we do hope that we can, find some solution, adapted solutions, so that the Council and its mechanism particularly could play their role. Speaking about the mechanism, it's an important, of course, issue. We have done our best to support the role of the mechanisms, the special procedure mandates, to protect them from any kind of intimidation or reprisals, which we do. And because they are designated by the Council, that's their role, and myself as president, I have, of course, to play my role supporting them in their endeavors. So, all in all, that was the issues I wanted to present to you at introducing this press conference with you, and I am available for your questions, of course.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll now open the floor to questions. Yes, sir. If you could please introduce yourself, the media outlet you work for.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for this briefing. I'm Joseph Klein from Canada Free Press. On April 4th, after receiving a report from the International Fact-Finding Mission on Iran that found substantial evidence of the regime's crimes against humanity and that noted the government's lack of cooperation and intimidation and harassment of victims, witnesses, and their families inside and outside of Iran, the Council simply extended that mandate, and I believe another, for the Special Rapporteur, for another year. So first I want to know if the Council had considered censoring Iran for its lack of cooperation, and if not, why not? And why didn't the Council unequivocally condemn the Iranian regime for its crimes against humanity, as it had done on that same date, April 4th, in condemning the Myanmar regime for its human rights abuses? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, of course, my role as president is also always to draw the attention of all those involved in the Human Rights Council. First of all, to respect the principle of cooperation. This is fundamental. And we privilege dialogue for such purpose. And we are always underlining the fact that, these mechanisms are there to find the best way. The decisions of the Council should be applied concerning any country involved in such the one you are referring to. So, as president, I did my best, even dialoguing with those involved in all that. So, but it is not my role to take any position or to make any declaration. I am supposed to be neutral and partial. It's up to the membership who decide on behalf of the Council. So, I mean, as President, I am here to draw the attention on the necessity of cooperation, and of course to remind all about the principle with which we are guided for to respect and promote and guarantee the human rights whenever and wherever in the world.
Well, would you be willing to comment on my question in your national capacity? Just your government's opinion of this discrepancy. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. You know, I'm here this morning, of course, in my capacity as President of the Human Rights Council. If you would like to know the position of my country, it is well known on the situation as in others. But here, I'm here to answer as President of the Human Rights Council, if you allow me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ambassador. This is Abdel Hamid Siyam from the Arabic daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi. Ahlan wa sahlan. Tahiyati. Sir, is there any credibility left for Human Rights Council, for Security Council, for the GA, for the UN in general, when they see what's happening? For Security Council resolutions were not respected, for General Assembly resolutions were also disregarded, and the Human Rights Council as well, they attack the messenger, not the message. They've been after Francesca Albanese, after Navi Pillay, and they try to destroy their credibility. And the Human Rights Council had been investigating Israeli practices in the occupied West Bank for a long time. Remember the Goldstone report or the Shabazz report in 2014, wars afterward. As you see now, the Palestinian people are being annihilated, completely destroyed as the entity of the Palestinian. And yet the UN is still, you know, going with business as usual. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, I agree with you. I mean, the situation of the Palestinian people in Gaza particularly is a catastrophic one. From the humanitarian point of view, from the situation as civilians. I mean, we are completely and fully aware of that. The Council is not inactive. We have taken many decisions on this issue, this year, and calling for first of the respect, of course, of the humanitarian international law, even the law, you know, the international law and the human rights laws. It has embodied on the decisions we have taken. Likewise, we have had many debates with the holders, the mandate holders in charge. You refer to the Commission of Inquiry, you refer to the Special Rapporteur. We had these debates, and the attention was drawn, you know, to the necessity, first of all, and the Council called for that, to stop the war. So we are not inactive. I mean, a lot of things, and myself, I have been involved in these discussions very closely, you know. So the credibility of the Council is not really questioned on this situation. This is the responsibility of the global community. We have had also dialogues with the High Commissioner himself on this issue. He expressed, because he is also an important, figure of the United Nations system, he made many declarations on that. So we have to care about the victims, all the victims of this war. This is important for us. I mean, and as a Council, we have in-depth dialogue, during all the sessions of the Council on this matter. So it is a concern. I concur with you. But as far as the Human Rights Council, I do consider that probably it has not done in a perfect way in that. We can have a subjective approach, but the Council, in my view, has done something significant, trying to call the attention for necessity of stopping the war, trying to call and invite, according to the international obligation, the full respect of humanitarian international law. So, as far as the special rapporteur you referred to, I would like to say also that we, and myself as president, I condemn clearly, the unacceptable attacks against a person, and particularly those holding mandate from the Human Rights Council. Likewise, I do consider that the role of the special procedures as a whole, is to serve the Council, the purposes of the Council, and within respecting strictly, vigorously their own mandate. This is the role. I had discussion on that. For me as president, I can say that what is important is that all in all, any action, they are independent. We know that the special procedures are independent. They have their margin of maneuver. Nevertheless, you refer to the credibility. We are attached to this credibility. We are attached to the fact that all those who have to play a role should care about the credibility of the Council and the efficiency of the Council when confronting such situations.
Yes. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera English.
Thank you. Thank you for the briefing. My question is a little bit of a follow-up on that. Special rapporteurs are oftentimes under pressure, to put it mildly, but it's been particularly the case this year with Princess Albanese, as you well know. She's been attacked both personally and professionally. What more can the Council do to guarantee all special rapporteurs work freely and without intimidation?
Well, sir, I just answered this question. Where myself, of course, it is one of important issues. During one debate we had with this person, an interactive dialogue in Geneva, I called the attention personally, to the respect which is, due to her in the room. Well, now, what can the Council do more is to draw the attention that any special rapporteur has also to respect the code of conduct. And I am in dialogue. They, as you may know, they have an internal procedure of organization. All the special rapporteurs, they have a committee of coordination, which is following this situation. They will probably, according to what I know, voice on this matter. Earlier than later, and I am in contact with them, and I do my best again to draw the attention for the respect. There is no question about that. To respect the person, not to attack the person, because for us this is unacceptable. Nevertheless, as president, aiming to serve the purposes of the Council, the decisions of the Council taken within the mandate which Mrs. Albanese is working for, to be oriented toward the results more than any kind of controversy or confrontations.
Yes, Dulcie Lineback, Pass Blue.
Yeah, thanks very much. So in light of what you just said, given that the U.S. is a member of the Human Rights Council and has called her unfit for her post, what's your response to that? Does that undermine her work, that a member of the Human Rights Council says she shouldn't have the job and the job shouldn't even exist? And I have a few other questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Madam. The special mandate holders are designated by the Council, not by the President. So it's up to the Council. If any decision is to be taken, if delegations would like to introduce any initiative, the President is here just to fix that the norms are respected. But they are not designated by the President. They are designated by the Council. And it is up to the Council to give any follow-up it would like to give to such situation.
So in theory, the Human Rights Council members designated her,
yes.
The 47 members, including the United States.
It was and there is an advisory committee which select the candidates for any mandate. Then these are proposed to the discussion, and the proposals are advanced to the President of the Council on the basis of its consultations of all the regional groups, all those involved, and then the President make proposals for nomination. And it is the Council which decide at the end who to nominate.
Okay, so can I assume that the U.S. agreed to her nomination, given what you just described, the process?
If I'm not wrong, the session during which she was elected, the U.S. were not yet member of.
It was in 2022. Oh, the U.S. was not a member then?
Was not a member.
If I can add, the United States was a member of the Council in 2022, and the appointment of special procedure mandate holders at that time was proposed for adoption to the members of the Council, and there was no opposition or no. It was a adoption, an appointment without a vote.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on this question about Ms. Albanese because there's certainly sufficient evidence in the record of her very strong anti-Israel bias for comments that she's made over the years. So I'd like to know, is there any vetting process done by the Human Rights Council staff or members themselves, your office, to try to assess and evaluate the objectivity of these special rapporteurs before they are voted upon? Thank you.
As I said, sir, there is this coordination committee. From what I know, they are seized by the matter. They are discussing this issue. We will know. It is an informal committee. I mean, they are discussing this matter. And as I said, I mean, myself as president, my attention has been drawn. I did what I had to do also, going this way that, to call for the respect of the rules, the code of conduct, the rules, and the mandate, precise mandate, any special mandate holder has for fulfilling its tasks. This is what is important, I mean. Now, if delegations, if membership wants to take any initiative, I mean, it's up to them, I mean, to discuss this issue. But as president, we have, by principle, saying that there is a framework in which any special rapporteur is working in, it should be respected. It should not be.
But just to drill down a little bit, wouldn't it make sense for this process to include some assessment of the objectivity, as much as possible, the lack of strong bias, one way or the other, with respect to the subject of the special rapporteur's report? Wouldn't that make sense? And if that's not done, just as a matter of course, why not?
Well, I mean, let me probably, widen my answer to you, sir. I mean, as president of the council, I have involved myself in fighting against any kind of hatred speech, any kind of discrimination. These are fundamental principles of the council. I participated even to some open events where I clearly condemned any kind of anti-Semitism or, hatred towards any other religion. So the president is there also by showing that he's engaged on protecting the credibility of the council. Again, I insist on that. The work of the council, not to be, drawn in controversies which are not to the benefit of the work of the council. So this is, or to any behavior, which is not in line with the, first of all, to favor the dialogue, the respect of each other, and not to behave in a way to create hurdles in front of the council achieving its goals.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again, Abdul Hamid. Sir, there is an area where human rights are being abused again and again, yet the council is almost blinding itself from this area, which is Kashmir. During Zayd bin Ra'ad al-Hussein, there was the first report on the atrocities committed by the Indian forces in Kashmir. And I don't think that report has been, it was updated during Navi Pillay when she was the High Commissioner for Human Rights. But then there is silence. Now the Indian forces have almost 800,000 troops there. People are being arrested, killed, there is summary execution, rape, etc. Yet the Council is not paying much attention to that region. Why is that?
First of all, I mean, the issue you're referring to is advanced in many of our debates by various stakeholders. It's up again to any delegation wishing to advance a subject to take the initiative. It can be discussed. It can be, the purpose of consultations. This is our processes, and then that is the council which decide. I mean, the president is here to organize these processes at the best way, and to facilitate the dialogue, to organize the consultations, and to draw the attention. I mean, if I have to be involved in that the council take the right decision in accordance with, our obligations, international obligation, in accordance with our goals and purposes of the council.
Do we have more questions from the room? I don't see any questions online. Mr. President, do you have any concluding remarks that you would like to deliver?
I would like to say, that what is important for us, all of us, is to strengthen the role of multilateralism globally. The Human Rights Council is a fundamental organ. This is the main one of the United Nations to care about the promotion, the guarantee of human rights. We don't have enough time this morning. Of course, these issues you have raised are important, serious, but if you see and you check the scale of our activities, the thematics we are discussing, the decisions we are taking, and also the involvement of all the membership of the Council with the civil society, I draw the attention on that, the role of the High Commissioner, Mr. High Commissioner himself, his secretariat, many significant fundamental efforts are deployed to make the international community answering its duties at the best. We have done, and still a lot to be done, of course. For me, what is important is to strengthen the coordination between New York and Geneva, to limit the polarization, to limit the politicization of our debates. This is important. The more we stick to the fundamental principles, norms, and legal engagement we have, the better it is. I thank you so much.
Would it be possible to get a transcript
I think you will have to rely on the webcast. We don't have the capacity. Yeah, I'll check with the spokesperson office if they do have a transcript of this.
Very much.
Well, thank you, Ambassador Zniber. Thank you all for attending this press conference and for your interest in the work of the Council.